Etapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, huru nefer, may Buddha bless you. This is Qesankh my Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how to manifest while you sleep. Yes. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, if you're interested in knowing more about my teachings, you can scroll down below, click on any one of the links, and download a free ebook today and get started. But if you want to take that journey or take that next step, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, $20 per month. It's up to you. You can cancel anytime, there's no obligation. And you're going to get some exciting spiritual videos, instructional videos on how to meditate, how to do self-hypnosis, proper breathing exercises, how to put together a magical amulet, how to contact the ancestors, how to invoke a spirit for your protection. And if you are an Asera level supporter, you'll get all your Oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. So, Haru Nefer, how are you? So we have something very exciting to talk about today. You know, I focused a lot on manifestation, and I've also talked about some books you should get as a follow-up reading. And manifesting is like working a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you become, the better of a manifester you are. And there are some things that can actually help you with manifesting. And these are like ley lines or special areas. When I moved here, I knew that this was a type of a ley line. And the first month I was here, I was manifesting like crazy involuntarily, good and bad things, until I was able to work on myself spiritually to where I would only focus on good things. And because I didn't want bad things to manifest. And the way bad things manifest is that you create labels and definitions of good and bad. You become polarized in that type of thinking. You must understand that there is no good and bad. You have to get out of that duality, the Hegelian dialectic. So when I began to do that by two things, number one, going dark, not considering negative outcomes, because we all get caught up in thinking negatively. So I had to make sure that I wasn't focused on the disaster outcomes. The other thing was I had to be the observer, the all-seeing eye. I had to be a witness to what I was seeing, but without judgment. Without saying, oh, that situation was bad, that situation was good. I had to be very, very careful because this English language, this bastardized language, sets us up for failure. And we all use this type of language throughout our daily lives. So you're going to have to learn how to flip that around. And you may be thinking, oh, that's an arduous task or it's very difficult. But the rewards are worth it, because when you get rid of that anxiety, that disaster outcome thinking, and stop placing the labels and definitions on things, you'll notice that you'll start to have a stream of good luck and what you perceive to be good luck. And you'll be like, wow, things are going my way. And that's because you've learned how not to label, define things. This is the area of the deity Sebek or Anubis. Hold on 1 second. I just got a important message came through. I'll tend to it later. Of Sebek, Anubis, because Sebek is the left brain. He is that faculty within us that has a desire to label things, to separate things, and that'll get you into trouble. The way we work at this in the Kemetic spiritual system is we separate the self from the person being the vehicle that you're in now, the avatar, but the self is who you truly are. So I may say myself doesn't like coffee. Oh, excuse me, let me rephrase that. I may say that my person doesn't like coffee, but my true self, which is unconditioned, which is free, has no likes or dislikes. The person is the id ego and the super ego. The person has what we call as conditionings or patterns that person has adopted from social engineering, from being brought up in the society. So you must differentiate between the self and the person. When you get to the Harukuhuti level in your training, you cut yourself off from your emotions, because Harukuhuti is the god of war. He enforces justice. He works with Ma'at to enforce the law. So the law is you're violating your law, God's law, by labeling and defining things. And the society does it to pit one group against another. The society loves doing this, but it's ruled by the cabal. All right. So in your spiritual journeys, if you want to master manifestation, which a lot of these people on YouTube or online who talk about manifestation, they're children. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but they don't know spiritual culture. They don't know how to teach. They have not gone through an initiation system. They're not priests and priestesses. They have not been schooled in the occult. So what they'll tell you is, oh, to manifest, you have to visualize what you want and empower it with emotions. Serial killers, pedophiles can dream about children and get excited about that. And that's dangerous, because you must understand that thoughts are transferable. You are a receiving device. So those thoughts are out there and you pick up on them. And if you dwell on those thoughts, you will, in one way, shape, or form, manifest them. So it's important that you go through an initiation process or a spiritual cultivation system so that you're not manifesting negative occurrences in your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what they leave out. They just take the book and head straight to manifesting, skipping the chapters on spiritual cultivation. And that's dangerous, because once you open that psychic doorway, that gate of manifestation, then you're going to be manifesting all manner of things. And especially if you move to an area where there's a ley line, you're going to be manifesting bad stuff for your person to experience. And you're going to attribute it to bad luck, bad karma. You know how it is. Family curse. When all you have to do is engage in purging yourself of negative conditionings. That's what we call it. The conditionings that have been superimposed upon you by society. And once you do that, your life is netchum. It's sweet. In previous videos, I gave you some NLP or neuro-linguistic programming words that can help you. In other words, when I have students who are going through this training and they are trying to manifest something positive, but something negative happens, we give them the belief system that although this may appear to be something negative, it will turn around in my favor. And that's how they take a negative and they flip it into a positive by saying that belief system and internalizing it through hypnosis or through trance. Because just by saying it, it's not going to stick into your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind, the left brain, will filter it out and reject it. But when I put you into a state of trance and I feed you that suggestion, it becomes a core belief system in your subconscious mind. And now you can rest assured that even if a bad thing manifests, there's something good waiting for you on the flip side. This is real spiritual training. This is not that little feel-good stuff, mumbo jumbo that some of these people are teaching called the law of attraction or the secret. I love what they say with Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. That's right. If you try to jump ahead to just manifesting without learning to indoctrinate yourself into real positive affirmations, or what we call truisms, your life is going to be hell. Remember, you are a reality generating machine. So you are manifesting reality every nanosecond. It's automatic and you don't realize you're doing it, which is why we're going to get into the discussion of how do you do it when you're sleeping, which is the one of the most powerful and easy ways to manifest. Pick your objective. What are you looking to manifest? Money, a mate, a car, a house? What do you want to manifest? Make sure that you have a genuine desire for it. Because one of the principles of manifestation that the universe operates by is sincerity. You must be sincere about what you want and have a genuine need for it to activate the magic. And we're going to get a lot into magic in my Patreon. So if you're not a supporter there, sign up, because we're going to be going deep into magic. Not the law of attraction or manifestation. I mean, we're going to get into some magical applications that many magicians don't want to talk about or teach. And I've been threatened by people I used to run with in spiritual circles. Why are you teaching this stuff? You weren't supposed to teach this stuff. They're angry that I'm making this information available to the general public. And I'm doing so because our time is running out. The ruling elite, the cabal, is moving forward with their plans. And we are just in a state of confusion. We don't have our act together, you know? And we have to start getting serious. Even I sometimes will reflect upon myself and say, Qesankh, you could do better. You could do better. When I look at my wives, I say, I can do better. I can do better. And I give them their pink slips. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, you have to learn to push yourself. This is why when I was focusing so much for many years on reality manifestation, I said, you know what, Qesankh, it's time now to dive deep into occult magic. And that will actually enhance the work that you've been doing with reality manifestation. And if you combine the two, and I went to the great I-ching oracle and asked the I-ching oracle, I said, is it proper time for me to get into magic? And should I combine that with the work I've been doing for the reality manifestation? And the oracle was like, yes, you'll become a more powerful magician. And then I said, should I teach this to my students? Because I'm concerned what they might do with this secret knowledge. And the oracle was like, yes, you may teach it to them. Trust and believe that if they found you, they were meant to work with you. One woman I was working with totally misunderstood how to use this power. And she was using it to judge people, to condemn people, and to get secret knowledge on people. I had to stop teaching her. I said, you are misusing this power. You're not supposed to use the oracles to get dirt on people. You're not supposed to use the oracle to judge people. So I had to give her walking papers. You're supposed to help one another. When the oracle reading comes up, and if the person is doing wrong, you're supposed to help them get back into balance, not judge them. Because no one is perfect. You understand? No one is perfect. Now, as I said before, one of the most powerful things you can do is find a ley line And these are different places across the country and even overseas. Easter Island, ancient Egypt, go to Kemet, or what we call Egypt. Go and meditate in the temples there and meditate upon the objective you want to achieve. And that place will put you in the trance so quick, and what will manifest a lot quicker. You'll be more powerful if you do that. Don't just go there. Let me just read this real quick. Okay. Don't just go there and just visit the Temple of Deidre or the Temple of Heteru. There's no purpose to just sightsee. Go there to meditate and watch your life transform. 1 second. All right. I see so many people of Afrocentric scholars and all that taking people on these trips, and all they do is just read off what the temple is about, what period it's from. Go there and meditate. Your vehicle, your body will absorb that energy. And if you channel that energy into your objective, it's going to manifest quicker. Go to any place that has a waterfall, which is negative ions, and meditate there and watch your objective manifest quicker. In fact, whenever you go to someplace new, it awakens the psychic centers, and you'll be able to manifest. If the Kundalini is jammed up within you because you've been in one place all your life. If you grew up in East LA all your life and you've never traveled, when you go to France, those psychic centers will open and that Kundalini will be channeling all through your body, ready to manifest something. And you'll find that if you go to the right place, the right ley line, it will transform your thinking. Because I have, on a daily basis, magical moments, things like synchronicities that just defy explanation. I had something last night that was just, it blew my mind. But I said, hey, this confirms I'm in the matrix. This confirms I'm manifesting everything. So, Dwawu, thank you, Nater. You see, your senses have been dulled. Your third eye is calcified. So you can't see manifestations, or you might not even be aware that you're manifesting. So you may need to go to a ley line or a new location. Go to the mountains with a cactus and watch that fresh air open those psychic channels. Go to a retreat. We used to have one every year. That'll awaken you. No need to take the herbs or ayahuasca or DMT. Because when you go to those locations, it will awaken your spirit. And the spirit is a genie. And it will say, what is your wish, my master? And if you implant the right visualization and idea, meaning that it's sincere and genuine, the spirit will go to work to manifest it for you. But I digress. We're not here to talk about ley lines and using different locations to manifest. But it's good that you understand that, because that's one of the most powerful ways to manifest. Before I relocated several times in my life, but before I would relocate, I would always meditate near a waterfall or running water to get those negative ions to charge me. Now, I did a broadcast the other day, a very, very important broadcast that talked about who you are and what the ruling elite has done to you. They have stripped you of your God power. And I talked about how you can trace them back all the way to ancient Sumer or Babylon, and how they are dark magicians and got together with a plan to take over the world. And that the first thing they did was to steal the papyri from the ancient libraries, like the Library of Alexandria, and burn them down so that no one else could have this wisdom and this knowledge. And they went underground. And then they imposed the left brain way of thinking upon the world. And this gave rise to sexism and racism. And now we are nothing but walking. What's a good word I can say? We're nothing but walk. Well, I won't use words. I'll use visualizations. Let me introduce you to somebody or a couple of good friends of mine. All right. This here is Lester. All right. Many of you may be familiar with Willie Tyler and Lester. And I used to play with him as a child, you know. Hey. Hey, all right. So I used to play with him as a child, you know, and I practiced ventriloquism. Yes, he did. Now, the reason why I wanted to introduce you to Lester, he's laughing there. Yes, he's laughing. It's because Lester represents the state of humanity today. You see? Now, Lester, you can relax. I'm going to bring up your best friend. And this is another guy I play with. This is Jeff. Yes, Jeff. Jeff likes to scare me in the middle of the night by getting up and walking around, but he says he's only getting water, you know? And Jeff is also a dummy. So this is metaphorical in a way. I want you to understand and do not take this personal. But we are nothing more than mannequins, dummies. This is what we have been stripped down to. You see, mass media puts words in our mouth, like a ventriloquist puts words in his dummy's mouth. And the ventriloquist animates him. We are on par with these dummies. Because, you see, we have allowed them to strip us of our magic, our power. And we walk around praying to an outside entity for salvation, never once thinking to ourselves, you know what? I don't need a Bible to give me wisdom. I have the Tahuti aspect within me that allows me to connect with God's wisdom. I don't need to pray to hit lotto or to pray to get some extra money so I can pay my rent. I have the faculty of Sekert within me. Sekert is spiritual power. Sekret is one of the most powerful high priestesses there is. So I have that faculty within me that I can tune into and manifest whatever I want. But because we have allowed mass media, the ruling elite, to come and dictate to us who we are, which is dummies, we're now like marionettes. We're manipulated by them. They are the puppet masters, and we're just doing their bidding. I see these people come on YouTube claiming to be preachers, spiritualists, and they're regurgitating what they have consumed from mass media, the movies, and what they have read. That is not wisdom. That is not knowledge. Wisdom comes from God. Wisdom comes from connecting to the Akashic records. And when you can pull that knowledge down, you become a sage. When you can work magic, you become a high priest like Sekret. But at this level of the way you're operating, you are a dummy. And you are okay with that. I wasn't. I, from the early time, because I've been reincarnated many times on this plane of existence, I knew something was wrong. I knew that I did not need a book to give me instructions on right and wrong. That God gave me the ability to discern that from myself. I didn't need a proxy or an intermediary. The greatest thing I can do to insult you is to have you come to my temple every Sunday and me to read from the good book and tell you I am the only one that could properly interpret it. I am closer to God than you are. That is an insult to your being. You should slap that minister. We all are connected to Neter, Nebecher, Yahweh, Source. And through the process of spiritual cultivation, you awaken those faculties within you. My role as a spiritual teacher is to teach you how to awaken the faculties within you so you can be God on earth. It is not to make you a student forever in my church and for you to tithe to me so I can buy fancy houses, a jet plane. Those are crooks, my beloved. They are crooks. Anyone that doesn't teach you how to use your power is a crook. You can think for yourself. You can act for yourself. You don't need modern media, the news, CNN, to tell you who you are and what you need to do. You don't need them. Stop being okay with being a mannequin. Stop being okay. All right. We got to stop. It seems like Luce thinks that you come in here and be late. I'm sorry, you can't be late. We don't accept that. Do you have a note explaining why you're late? I kid. Okay. Wonderful. I was just saying this to my sister and daughter about manifesting. Wonderful. You're not a dummy. You don't need someone to explain to you or interpret to you the book. You don't need the book. You come complete. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the mere fact that these individuals will commit to memory what they've seen on TV, on YouTube videos, or in the newspaper, and then regurgitate it, shows that they're a dummy. And someone else is pulling the strings and someone else is putting the words in their mouth. I turn on YouTube and I see people teaching the same thing over and over again. The law of attraction, reality manifesting. And I'm like, do you really understand how it works? Or are you just passing on information that you've read or seen? Because if you understood how it works, you know you need to go through an initiation process to clear out your psyche of negative conditioning. But you don't know that. Because you are a dummy regurgitating information. You're not a real magi. I'm trying to get you to understand how powerful you are. How truly powerful if you only would turn inward, because there's no outside. Science has confirmed that everything you see on the external world is an illusion, it's Maya. There is no external world. There is no external world. Science has confirmed this. All these things that you see are interfaces. Let me say it again. It's interfaces. The building, the truck, the street light. When the dog takes a poop on the street, that's an interface. And these interfaces stand in for a reality. They are symbols. And you interface with, you create these things to interface with them so you can learn from the experience. Let me say it again. There are interfaces that stand in so that you can interact with them and to learn from the experience. But the truth about reality is that there is nothing. There is no thing. There is nothing. There is no thing. And from the nothingness becomes all things. You're not serious with what you just, that comment. Everyone doesn't want to be a magi. Okay, then you not understanding anything about what I'm talking about. You not understanding anything I'm talking about. So let me give you a scenario. Your family is starving. I give you a gun and I send you into the forest and I say, bring back some game, right? So you go out there. But then I call you back and I take the gun away from you. And I say, go out there and bring back some game. And you're like, well, how can I do that without my gun? But then I say, well, everybody doesn't want a gun. You see, the powers I'm talking about are yours already. It's natural to you. You are a magi. Someone has come and given you a false definition of who you are, which is the mannequin. And you have subscribed to that, and you don't use your powers. And you think, well, not everybody wants to use their powers. You're using them right now to manifest. You don't even realize you're doing it. That's how powerful you are. Everybody doesn't want to be a magi. You are a magi. That's like saying, well, everybody doesn't want to be God. You are God. You are God. But you have been fooled and told that you're human. This is why in the walls, ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, it said, know thyself. Know thyself. Exactly. Everyone holds the power. Everyone has the power, but not everyone uses it because they've been fooled. They've been lied to. Oh, there's no thing like magic. Oh, that voodoo stuff doesn't work. Oh, please. Oh, we're men of science. Please don't talk about astral projection. Don't talk about spirits and angels. That doesn't exist. The physical is all that exists. It's the end all and be all of everything. Science has proved it. Who's pissed off? Who's pissed off? I'm not pissed off. Why would I be pissed off? Are you pissed off? I'm trying to explain it to you in a very dramatic way so it makes an impression upon you. If I were pissed off, I would probably block you off the channel. No, I'm not pissed off. I'm here to help you. In fact, I'm not here at all. You see, I am a projection of your own self who's trying to teach you. Oh, thank you. I thank you for clearing that up. My bad. I thought he was talking to me. Yeah, because I don't get pissed off. I usually don't get pissed off. I wonder, why do you think I'm pissed off? I wouldn't be pissed off. I may be pissed off at my wives and slap them around and get them in shape. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. She says, I am. But you are what you are, which is God. You can't run away from that. It's a beautiful thing. You see, we go through life praying, having anxiety, hoping, stressing out over things that we may need that we don't have. And then these pimp pastor ministers take advantage of us because many of us are living in poverty. We've gone through a lot of trauma in our lives, and they take advantage of that by saying, come to my church, and if you tithe a certain percentage of your income, you'll be blessed. That's preying on the weak. And they do it often. And then they name their church a prosperity church to fool you and coming there to make you think that you're going to prosper. Let's talk about how you manifest while you sleep. There are two ways to do this. You must know that whenever you hold a thought or visualization and you empower it with emotions, Hedaru is a visualization. Osset is trance. Those combinations, and with Sebek is a belief. Sebek corresponds to beliefs. That three trinity, Sebek, Hedaru, and Osset, is a very powerful combination for manifesting. Because when you sleep, you're in an alternate state of consciousness. And you can manifest. So there's two ways to go about it. The first way, which is most times the way I use, is I become consumed by what I want because it's a genuine need. You see? And I become possessed by that thing. Like, for example, this is just hypothetical. If I wanted a nice Red One movie camera, that's one of the top line movie cameras that costs hundreds and thousands of dollars. If I wanted that, but I can't afford it, I would think about it on a daily basis, become consumed by the aspect of possessing it, to the point of where one day I dreamt about it. Dreams are important, very important. That dream is now telling you that that object of your desire has permeated into the subconscious mind. And that also means that what you want, the subconscious mind is actually working on manifesting it for you. This is why dreams are important. We never should abandon our dreams. Now, the dream state, if you go deep enough, is where exists the template reality. What is the template reality? That is the master architectural plan for the reality that we exist in. Now, this gets into the realm of like lucid dreaming. As I said, there's two ways to go about this. The first way is becoming consumed by the thing that you want. It has to be a genuine need, and you think about it all the time to the point of where you start to dream about it. And you must dream about it consistently. It can't be just a one-off dream. When you start to have a number of dreams about it, this means that the subconscious mind has been programmed correctly to manifest that. And sure enough, it'll be on its way. Now, when you start to have these dreams about it, you'll need to start to cut it off and start thinking about it and allow the subconscious mind to go to work to manifest it. Because if you continually want and desire then the subconscious mind won't be able to manifest it because it has to go deeper and deeper into your spirit. So you have to forget about it. And this is the tricky part of wanting it, but yet being okay not having it. It's that sweet spot that gets the manifestation working. So that is the first way. To become so preoccupied by what you want, you start to dream about it. And then when the dreams start to blossom, you then cut it off and forget about it and allow the magic to happen. I dreamt about this movie deal I wanted for an entire year. And then I got so exhausted. And I said, it'll never happen. And then when I forgot about it, and this is a true story, when I forgot about it, I left it alone. I got the call from Walt Disney Studios saying they want me to come out there and pitch them a movie. I was like, whoa, this stuff works. This stuff works. Now, the next way you can manifest is by setting the intention before you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, you compose the scenario, compose the world in which you'll see yourself having the very thing you desire. And you allow yourself to fall asleep while you're thinking about this. And if you do this consistently, you'll eventually get to a point of where you'll dream about it, but not only dream about it, but it'll be a lucid dream, meaning you'll wake up in the dream in full control. And if you can do that, then you're on your way to manifesting that thing. You ever dream and know you're dreaming? That's a lucid dream. And if you're in that dream and you can control the narrative of that dream, then you are literally manipulating reality while in the dream state. Meaning you go to sleep, you compose a scenario, you go to sleep, like say I want that Red One movie camera. I think about it and I allow myself to fall asleep. And in the dream, I become awake. And then I can compose a narrative in the dream saying, oh, I'll have a friend who will gift me that camera. And that'll happen in the dream. And then the next day I do the same thing and I do the same thing. And then when I'm composing these scenarios, it will manipulate the subatomic particles in our 4D existence to where synchronistically I will come into getting that camera, one way, shape, or form. You don't have to be concerned so much about how it will come to you or who will give it to you or what ways it will happen. All you need to do is embellish the emotion of getting it and having it in the dream state. But it must be consistent, genuine, and in a way, you kind of got to be obsessed about it. And it happens. That is the formula. 2 ways, simple as that. Manifesting while you're sleeping. Now, I'll do another video where I'll get deeper and deeper into the template reality and how to manipulate that. But just a further explanation is that everything you see, and I talked about those interfaces come directly out of the template reality. It's like, I don't know if any of you have created a website, but they have what they call a drag and drop feature. So the website gives you a canvas, it's completely clean, and you can go and grab something, drag it, and drop it there. Like I can drag and drop a shopping cart. That's a template. The shopping cart is a template. I can drag and drop a header image. That's a template. That's really how our reality works, because in that template reality are all the templates that compose this reality. There's a template for a flat screen TV, a computer monitor, a cup, someone as pretty as me. You know, it's all there in the template reality. And if you go deep enough and come in contact with the template reality, you can manipulate that template reality. And if you do, you will be manipulating your reality. But there's also some dangers associated with them. A quick question here. What if a dream is negative when you do dream about it? Does that mean you need some work with feeling you deserve it? That's not an easy question to answer. And you shouldn't have a desire for something. And then if you have a desire for something and you feel good about it, and then when you dream, you have a negative dream about it, there's something really going on in your psyche, to be honest with you. There's something really going on with your psyche, because typically if something excites you and you're happy about it and you want it, your dreams should reflect that. And if your dreams don't reflect that, there's an incongruence is what we call that. And that is, it's very funny that Dexter's on there, but that could be an indication of something very, very serious going on in your psyche. Like a synaptic break or split, meaning that you are of dual mind. You're having a paradox, or there's a conflict going on. So that's something you need to examine. But we've already talked about this, though, early in the broadcast, about doing the initiation work to purge yourself of negative emotions, because that's really what you should be doing as the first step, purging yourself of negative emotions so you won't have that. Let me explain something while we're on that subject, because I think Crystal brought up something that's really good. And this goes back to what the ancient Egyptians, our Kemetic ancestors, knew that is being held secret and kept from the masses of people. Your dream world is a feedback loop. That feedback loop is supposed to tell you how your death is going to be. Let me say it again. Dream state is a feedback loop that will tell you how your death will be. So I'll break this down for you. When you dream, your will is nullified. So your will is not activated in your dream state. So this means you could sit down and have breakfast with a talking giraffe and you not think that that's peculiar. You won't think that's peculiar. You could jump off a building and fly and not think it's peculiar in your dream, because your will is nullified. You see? And you can have nightmares, and you do have dreams about things that bother you. What those dreams are trying to tell you is to work on those things spiritual. You can have a dream about somebody chasing you, a mass murderer chasing you with a knife, and you're trying to get away from that person, but you're running really slow, right? So you have a fear of maybe being robbed or coming in contact with a murderer. You should not have that fear, because you're God. So you need to start doing your meditations and do hypnotherapy to purge yourself of that negative emotions. Now, if you do not do that, When you die, your will be nullified, and that mass murderer will come after you in between the inner planes. He will come after you. So that's the reason why ancient Egyptians focused so much on preparing for death. They prepared for death by being super spiritual in life, because they knew that if they didn't purge themselves in life of all their negative emotions, that when they die, those emotions would come back and haunt them in their death state. And those emotions that haunt you in the death state will set you up for your next life. Because based on the fear, you'll come back with those same fears until you learn to transcend them. That's the purpose. That's why we strive to be Osir. He is free of emotional compulsions. He is free of conditionings. He has no likes or dislikes. He is a man at peace. So if a man, so his dreams are always positive. So when he passes on, Osir does not have negative things come after him in the death state. But it's waiting for you. It's waiting for you. Let me tell you this. I once went so deep into trance, it frightened me. Because as I went deep, there were evils waiting for me. I mean, stuff that terrified me. And what I realized was that these were subconscious beliefs that were trapped so deep in my psyche that I wasn't consciously aware of them. And what it was telling me is like, look, you need to get rid of that stuff. Because if you don't deal with those, as I should call them, entities or whatever you want to call them, within your psyche, they're going to come at you in the death state. Which is why some people could go to Oracle and do a reading on what their afterlife will be, and they'll get a dark deceased. Because those things are buried. Let me tell you something. There are things buried so deep in your subconscious mind, you'll never figure it out. It'll never come to you, maybe for years. But it's there. It's there. So this is what some may call, the shadow self. And this is why integration is important, that you must integrate, become one with those fears, and don't fear them, embrace them. The most important thing you need to do is recognize your divinity. When you are faced with those evil apparitions, if you can, because your will is nullified and it's very difficult to do this, but if you could hold on to the idea that I am God, then those things will dissipate. Because you as God, you rule over them. You rule over the demons. You rule over the spirits. They envy you. But because you've been taught by mass media and watching all these too many movies, poltergeists and all that, you are been fooled. All right. Yes, please. If you enjoy this, please donate to the channel. Your donation will be greatly appreciated. So if you want to know more about the afterlife, what you go through for death, what's going to happen, what's trapping your psyche, become a Patreon supporter. I'm going to go into all that occult stuff. But to purge all that out your psyche is a lifetime endeavor. It doesn't happen in a couple of years. You've got to what you do is, what we would do at Priesthood was we would keep a book of charms of all our conditionings. I'm afraid of water. I'm afraid of clowns. And I had for a long time, I had a big fear of clowns. I did not like clowns. So you keep a record of all that, and then you meditate to purge yourself of those negative conditionings, so you have more fear of them. And when you can do that, you come that much step closer to God and accessing infinite power and infinite wisdom. See, the Christian pimp pastors, they fool you into thinking because you stand on a pulpit and say, I've been saved, I accept Jesus Christ, that now you're okay. That everything is hunky-dory, and you see him smiling, I've accepted the Lord, and because I've accepted the Lord, I'm saved. No. You have a subconscious mind that records everything in your life, and it buries it deep, 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 deep within you. So deep you don't know it's there. And if you don't deal with it, some way, shape, or form, it's going to come out. Your subconscious mind records every aspect of your life. And when you go before Tahuti in the hall of Ma'ati, Tahuti will review all the things you've done and all that junk in your trunk and say, okay, based on these fears that you haven't transcended, I'm going to send you back to earth so you can try and transcend it again. Because you didn't do so in the past life. You weren't successful. You understand? All right. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. It's always a pleasure to meet the Magi in the chat. Actually, before I go, let me just recognize Crystal Goddess Hetepu. Lakia, hello. What's going on? Beautiful. What you doing? What you doing? Tell me. Huh? Please, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Jahu? So like a mantra. Jihu? Sorry. Luz Puri, Hetepu. Who else do we have? Magical Indigo. Namaste. And I think I have everybody. Do I? All right. Thank you, Magi, for tuning into this broadcast. And until my next broadcast, this is Qesankh Ma Keperu, so Ma'at Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next broadcast, I'm in Ra.